Exciting news, everyone. I put my cat on a shirt.
She has no idea she's on a shirt.
Get yours today at drewgoodenshop.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Watch Mojo's Top 10 Days of the Week. Number 4. Thursday. I love horror movies. I think it's such a fun genre. The experience you have while watching one is so much different than just about any other type of movie. It's funny to look back on all the stress I felt over the years while watching horror movies because, objectively speaking, I wasn't in a stressful situation. I was just sitting on my couch, scared because there's something on the TV. Okay, turn it off. Close your eyes, dude. There's no danger here. Idiot. Some of my all-time favorite movies are horror movies, but also some of my all-time least favorites. Let me tell you about the 2021 Netflix original, There's Someone Inside Your House. There are a lot of things that I hate about this film, but perhaps nothing more so than the title being a complete lie. No, there's not someone inside your house. This movie barely takes place inside of one. You can't just come up with a cool title for a movie and then write a script that has nothing to do with it. I mean, apparently you can because that's what they did, but I don't think you should be allowed to do that. I think they should be in jail. The opening scene was actually pretty good, and from what I can tell, what they named the entire movie after. It opens on a static shot of what seems to be the only house for miles. Truck pulls into frame, guy starts an egg timer, takes a little nap, and when he wakes up, his phone is gone and it's been replaced by the timer. Who put that there? So he goes downstairs where he sees that the front door is wide open. Oh shit, his car's gone? Don't like that. If I didn't know any better, I'd say there's someone inside his house. Anyway, he dies pretty hard and then they play the opening credits. At this point though, I'm invested. Like, this was a creepy and well-directed opening that set the stage for what should have been a much better movie. The synopsis is that there's a secret killer who's also sort of a secret killer in that he kills people who have secrets. The first guy's secret is that he violently assaulted someone else on the football team, almost beat the guy to death. The second person who gets killed is the popular girl who tries very hard to seem open-minded in public, but has a secret white supremacist podcast. Got it. So we're killing people who are doing something harmful to others in private. That's the theme here. Until the third murder, which isn't that at all. One of the only likable characters thus far gets murdered because he has a pill addiction. Okay, send him to rehab then. Addiction doesn't inherently make you a bad person, especially if you're not hurting other people while you do it. Why is he getting murdered over his own personal struggle? Also, this happens at a party where everyone else is underage drinking and smoking. Is that not held to the same standard? Kinda seems like everybody's intoxicated here. But unfortunately, the movie continues. There's now a fourth victim whose secret is, get this, he's gay. So now I'm really confused about the politics of this murder. So you hate Big Pharma, you hate racism, and you also hate gay people. Which side are you on, man? Also, the guy he stabs in this scene was the one who got his ass kicked by the first guy. So you kill one person for doing a hate crime, and then you commit a worse hate crime? Who the fuck wrote this movie? It's around this point where we learn that the main character, Makani, also has a secret past of her own. She was involved in some kind of hazing incident where she drunkenly pushed another student into a bonfire that almost killed her. So now we would be worried about her if this movie gave us any reason to give a shit. But I certainly don't care. She miraculously survives, tells her friends about her secret, and now there's time for one last confrontation. And if I wasn't mad at this movie already, this scene would be the thing to put me over the edge. So they go to a cornfield maze that's on fire and drive a car through the fire, which I don't think is something you can do, but this movie's making me doubt any scientific knowledge I've ever had, so who's to say? What really made me mad though is how stupid this movie thinks we are by foregoing any chance they had at subtlety. We know that the main character has trauma associated with big fires. That's the thing we just learned. So if you're going for symbolism here, just show her face and show the fire and we'll piece together that, oh my God, you're doing a flashback. You're doing a flashback to the scene you just showed 6 minutes ago? Is this movie made for toddlers? I would hope not, because there's a bunch of murders in it. Anyway, turns out it was the angry rich kid this whole time. Who could have seen that coming? I mean, he's probably the only character who could afford to keep 3D printing photorealistic masks of all the victims' faces, but I guess we weren't supposed to think about that until now. Watching this movie for the second time now definitely ruined my day, but I'm not gonna let it ruin my month. Surely there's worse movies out there that could do that. So I had to do a local record store that turned out to have a fantastic selection of horror DVDs and also the 40-Year-Old Virgin, which sounded a little too scary for me. This was the exact mix of classic horror films and straight to DVD garbage that I was looking for. I found some absolute gems here, and I could not wait to take them home and force my wife to watch them with me. First up, we've got the 1999 thriller Bats. I love that this movie wastes no time getting to the bats. We open on some couple arguing in their car, and they get like 2 lines out before being absolutely ripped to shreds.
Will you just listen to what I'm saying?
I heard what you said, Quint. But Donna told me everything you're saying and everything.
Then we cut to a cave in Arizona. Guess what? More bats. I could honestly cry. I've never seen a movie so faithful to its title. We're introduced to 2 of the main characters in this movie, Dr. Sheila Casper, who likes to go inside caves and look at bats, and Jimmy, who just sort of talks to her on the radio from outside the cave.
Hey, Jimmy, if you hate bats and caves so much, what the hell are you doing with me anyway?
Oh no, Jimmy doesn't like bats. Something tells me this is gonna be a really rough day for him. Unfortunately, whatever their mission here is gets cut short when a helicopter lands and a guy named Toby comes out and tells him he needs their help.
I'm Dr. Toby Hahn. We need your help. Immediately.
I have to say, this is the perfect name for someone with that haircut. If you go to your barber and ask them for the Toby, you're gonna walk out of there looking like this.
There's a biological emergency.
What kind of biological emergency?
Say it.
Bats.
Yes!
Dr. Casper. Bats.
Let's fucking go, dude. This movie is about one thing and only one thing.
So, ma'am, you're a doctor now of what exactly?
Bats, Sheriff. I work with bats.
Bats.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this movie might have some bats in it. So Sheila the Bat Doctor gets called in to examine the very dead body of the guy killed in the opening scene, where she notices a fang.
This is impossible. These bats only feed on fruit and nectar. This must be some kind of sick hoax.
Well, unfortunately, we're fairly certain that this is not a hoax.
Yeah, there's a mangled corpse in front of you. It'd be kind of weird if we just brought this in as a joke.
Bats do not kill people. There must be some other explanation. One that has absolutely nothing to do with bats.
Wait a second. Are you saying some kind of bat did this?
I love how many of the scenes early on are just someone being like, I think a bat did this, and someone else being like, bats?
We think this was done by some sort of bats.
Favorite character in this movie by far is Jimmy, who, as we discussed, doesn't like bats and yet chose a career path entirely devoted to them. He's also written to be so dumb.
We need to know what we're dealing with here, Doctor.
I'm kind of curious myself now that you mention it.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I would kind of like to know what's going on with all these murderous bats. I wasn't interested until this moment. Although everyone's kind of an idiot in this movie, so it's just par for the course.
So you're saying that the bats can only infect other bats? Now that's bullshit.
I'll give them a little bit of credit. There are some scenes that are actually pretty scary. I mean, in general, the idea of, being chased by a giant swarm of flying animals trying to kill you is not the worst concept for a horror movie. It just gets a little silly when they start doing some of the close-ups of the bat puppets.
What'd I tell you? Ugly.
This one they just threw into a cage and shook it around. Apparently the bats aren't just hungry for human blood, they're also smart too. They managed to put a tracking device on one of them and then 2 other bats fly in and kill it in a scene that ends with everyone half-heartedly jogging. And cut. Perfect, guys. Love the lack of urgency. Somehow, in between their many close encounters with death, Sheila and the Sheriff Emmett find time to awkwardly flirt with each other.
Try to be gentle, but firm.
Think I can handle that?
I'm sure you can, Emmett.
Yeah, like with sex. So the bats start spreading and things are clearly getting out of hand. I love the scene where this kid somehow doesn't notice the guy next to him screaming in agony because he's playing a video game. Society, am I right? And I gotta say, the directorial choice to have this shot where the cameraman sprints across the room towards the attack, followed by 75 quick cuts, absolutely hilarious. This is what filmmaking is all about. Oh no, now they're attacking the whole town. Or actually just flying above it, I guess. They attack a couple people, but for the most part, they're just out there making noise. One of them flew directly into a neon sign. That was pretty dumb. Thank God Sheila was here to save this kid who seemed to be in absolutely no danger. There's actually multiple people in this scene who are standing perfectly still that Sheila saves just by telling them to move. That's the kind of intelligence only a bat doctor can have. I like when this cop tries to de-escalate the situation by verbally threatening one of them, and that doesn't go too well.
Take it easy. Back.
No, bat with a T. Tried to tell you. I also like when all the cars just start exploding. What, do the bats have grenades now? Sad news, everyone. Toby died. I guess he was the only reason the bats were in this town in the first place, because they immediately flew away after killing him. Oh, great. Now we have to clean up the town. The bats left newspapers everywhere. Don't worry, though. They've come up with a rock-solid plan to save the day. They're going to freeze the bats with a giant refrigerator.
When the temperature drops below 40 degrees, bats begin to hibernate. All we need are cooling units powerful enough to freeze the roost. All right, we're gonna need some special gear to go in.
What? We're going into the roost?
Damn it. My job of studying bats is yet again at odds with my fear of them.
This is over? I'm gonna lay on the beach for like 3 years. Someplace they never heard of a bat.
Or you could just pick a different job.
Is this what you call normal?
I wouldn't call much of anything I've seen in the last few days normal.
Yeah, I bet she's talking about all the bats. Anyway, they turn on the giant refrigerator and manage to outrun all the bats through a cave and up a ladder and down a corridor and up an elevator shaft and out the entrance, all with about a 50-foot head start. Geez, maybe instead of becoming bat scientists, they should have competed in the Olympics, because holy shit. The best part of this chase, though, is when Emmett stops running and turns around to shoot a gun at 7,000 bats. I can't believe that didn't work. And now we can sit back and enjoy this 9-minute long explosion, knowing full well that all the bats are dead and the world is safe. Oh no! That's the best ending I've ever seen. Actually, that is kind of funny. I was so convinced they were gonna do that thing that bad movies do where they hint at a sequel at the end, just in case. But no, they knew. I think they knew bats would be one and done. As great as that movie was, I'm just glad I can finally watch the behind the scenes featurette and learn how Bob Gunton feels about bats.
They're so ugly. They're nasty looking.
He doesn't like them. I think the 4 out of 10 this movie has on IMDb is just about spot on. But the thing about a 4 out of 10 movie is that it can still get worse. So our journey continues. Up next, we've got Dream Home, and somehow this is actually a pretty substantial step down from Bats. I want you to take a second to really admire the graphic design on this cover. You've got this ancient-looking Victorian house, a ghostly silhouette peering down from the second-story window, a child looking up in fear, the words murder and kill scratched onto the blank part of the DVD cover. None of this is in the movie. Nothing at all. Look at this house, and then look at the house they actually use. Not even close. Right away, I'm getting the vibe that the main goal of this production was to pad the runtime just enough that this can legally be called a movie. During the opening credits, one of the shots they use is of a ghost slowly moving across a gazebo, and it goes on for 39 seconds. Every scene in this movie ends with a fade to black that lasts way too long.
I want that house.
Is it over? But none of the transitions can hold a candle to this one. Listen closely.
Now go call him right now while it's still fresh on your mind. I will.
Cut.
They forgot to edit that out. So the editing is fantastic, the directing is top notch, but it's the writing that really sets this movie apart.
Look.
What?
Look at that.
What?
Look at the house.
What?
Wow, so much is being conveyed in that scene. She wants the house, but he can't even see the house because he's driving. It's heartbreaking.
Leave me alone.
They do such a good job of subtly hinting at her interest in the house.
That house is beautiful and I love it. I want that house. I fell in love with the house. I want it.
I know you really want this house.
Baby, I want that house.
You really want this house, don't you?
Baby, I need this house.
When they meet up with the realtor who wants to sell them the house, at first I was really confused why the director let him stand in a spot with such horrible lighting, but then I realized it must have been a creative choice. I think it represents that beneath his sunny appearance, there's something dark lurking in the shadows. Who is this man? And why are they still so hell-bent on buying the house, even after hearing how shady he's being?
Heard a couple of mixed stories about this place.
You said mixed stories. What are some of the others you heard?
Yeah, just a couple of guys joking at the water cooler.
Like what?
Nothing that should concern you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't worry about it. You want to go ahead and buy the house? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Look at this place. This place has got to be at least 80 years old. This place is incredible, Darren.
Wow, look at how dusty and decrepit everything is. It's perfect. This is where the first and possibly only scary moment of the movie happens.
Seems like no one ever lived here for the past 50 or 60 years.
75 years.
The fuck?
Man, where the hell did you come from?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
I don't know, man. It kind of seems like you did.
I live around here. I saw you two looking at the house and thought I would come over and say hello.
And you're sure you're not trying to be creepy?
This is no ordinary house. In many ways, it's like any other old house. But it's special. They don't build them like this anymore.
This goes on for so long.
This house can feel you. This house knows what you're doing at all times.
Is he blinked at all?
This house can see.
Are you trying to tell me that this house is alive?
You should be okay, but just remember, this house is unlike anything you've ever encountered before.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Just remember, you will die in this house.
All right, appreciate it, bro. Gee, I wonder if that insane encounter with the neighbor changed their opinion at all about the house.
I want this house.
Not even a little bit.
Man, look at all the changes we've made.
Oh, I'd love to, but I can't. The camera's pointing the wrong way. Well, against all odds, it seems like everything turned out okay for them until Faye finds an old necklace under the bed and we hard cut to the most disorienting montage. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Weirdly, this actually almost works as a creative choice just because of how surreal and unsettling it is. Now, I thought that Faye saw all this as she picked it up, but I would assume that's not the case because if she did, I don't know why the hell she would then put it on. General word of advice to anyone in a horror movie. If you find an old piece of jewelry with a mysterious past, don't wear it. It never ends well. You're gonna take on some sort of curse. While this is happening, Darren heads down to the hardware store to pick up some paint, and he gets to witness one of the greatest line deliveries I've ever heard.
When I first moved into town, my parents used to see a lot of those kids going in and out of that house, and they warned me not to go there.
I don't think we ever seen anybody living there again, considering what happened.
Wow, that's gotta be pretty scary to hear two strangers talking about how haunted your house is. Let's capitalize on this momentum by showing a silent credit card exchange in full without any cuts.
Got that?
Perfect. Later on, they invite their friend April over for dinner, and I'm just trying to figure out where the hell all this food came from, because that is not what they were cooking. It kind of looks like the crew didn't have any actual food to prepare in this scene, so they just had her boil a little pot of water and a big pot of water, which she stirs and stirs until it turns into this giant meal. Movies are awesome. After dinner, April politely asks for a tour.
I'm ready for my tour now.
And Faye shows them the only room they already saw earlier.
This is it? I can't believe it.
You can tell she didn't show them any other part of the house because April has to ask her where the bathroom is. It's in that bathroom where the weird neighbor from before makes his triumphant return.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
The next day, Faye runs into him in the woods where she seems completely unfazed by him being the creepiest person alive.
You'd be surprised what you can find just lying around out here.
Hey, I remember you. You were here that day we bought the house.
That's right. How is it treating you?
Pretty good.
That's good. That's real good. It does me good to see two young people doing good.
I love how much of the writing in this movie is either that's good or that's bad.
You just don't know how bad that makes me feel. I really don't have a good feeling about it. It's just that I get this bad vibe when I see it. It's like the thing is tied to something really bad. I just get this bad feeling about that cross.
Also, everyone keeps describing the house as beautiful.
It's beautiful. This place is so beautiful.
We moved into this beautiful old Victorian home. That's a beautiful home. Even as old as it is, it's still a beautiful home. And I've always thought it had been. That's a beautiful house.
They can't get enough of this beautiful home, even though something happened there. But no one will outright say what happened there. They just keep beating around the bush. It's kind of frustrating.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll find out soon enough.
I watched this scene 3 times, and I still have no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
You're in the house. The event is still going on, whether you know it or not. And for some reason, you're becoming a part of that event.
What?
You see, you've done something to connect yourself with whatever took place. I guess you or your husband have done something to connect yourself.
What is happening?
Even if something happened there, if anything happened at all, how could it be the cause of something that's happening now?
You don't understand, do you?
Of course she doesn't. No one does. She just keeps going. I don't even know if this was scripted or if they just had her ramble something vaguely creepy.
If it's connected to anyone involved in the event, you wearing it will provide a gateway for whatever happened then to happen now. Not only will the event continue to go on in the past, but now you and your husband will be a part of that occurrence.
Okay.
How do we get out of it?
In order to get out of something, you first have to know exactly what you're in.
And since you clearly don't, and I refuse to explain it, I guess you're just fucked. And then this same mystery woman finds Darren as he's leaving work, and she creeps him out too.
Can you give your wife a message for me?
Excuse me?
Tell her to be weary of her dreams. Tell her that sometimes our dreams aren't what they seem to be. Sometimes it's our mind's way of telling us things
Can you slow down?
or things that have happened in the past, or things that are going to happen.
I'm not even gonna try. The most accurate thing about this entire movie is that he actually does have trouble remembering her long and convoluted message.
She said like, she said your dreams or something like, oh, okay, she said that.
I don't want to hear it, Darren.
But finally, after explaining nothing the entire movie, with 3 minutes left, we finally learn what happened to the house. And I can't even pay attention to it because I'm so distracted by how they chose to film it.
When her mother woke up, she went to Juliana's room. They say you can still see the father walking around the house sometimes. As he walked closer to Juliana's bed, when the townspeople found out about this insane man, nothing. They say you can still see the mother.
And the mom was evil too. And the dad was evil too.
Faith! Wake up, Faith! I'm sorry. Faith!
Oh, she's dead now. Oh, never mind. She was just sleeping.
You don't understand. It's not him. It wasn't him.
I'm gonna be honest. I still don't know what happened in this movie. The best thing about Dream Home, besides how good it is getting to read the reviews from like 15 years ago from all the people who are so angry that they paid money to rent this from Blockbuster.
This was the absolute worst movie I have ever seen. I cannot even begin to explain the way I felt when this was over. I was ripped off. The front of the box looks really interesting. The kid on the bike. Oh yeah, why would he have anything to do with this movie? Duh. There's not even one child in this movie. If there were a way to recall movies, this film should be put in a fire. Take my advice, don't rent this movie, buy this movie, or even watch it on cable. I'm sure you can find better things to do for an hour and a half, like ripping your toenails off one by one.
Damn, seems like everybody hated this movie. But 2 out of 10? It can still get worse. And that's where the curse of the Zodiac comes in. This may just be it. I think this is the worst horror movie ever made. Now, this movie came out in 2007, the same year as the David Fincher Zodiac movie. So I'm pretty sure this only exists to confuse the then patrons of video rental stores. Honey, this is that new Jake Gyllenhaal movie, right? Probably. It's not like we can Google it. We only have internet at home. But even still, this has no business being as terrible as it is. This is barely even a movie. It's directed almost like a music video, but one that's 80 minutes long and has no songs in it. So much of it is just these constant flashing cuts, and every shot is so overly stylized that I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. They made some truly baffling editing choices. Like, what is even the point of doing something like this?
Randy! Where the hell have you been? I've been looking for
you all night.
If I had to guess, I would say that all of this was a conscious effort to distract us from the fact that this movie has no script.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of the couch, you can have the couch.
Yeah.
A stupid pink couch in an orange colored room does not work anymore.
I refuse to believe that the actors are not improvising every line on the spot.
Crazy ain't cool. And it's, you know, normally I'd have fun, you know, hanging out with someone and dating someone that's a little crazy. But this is getting ridiculous.
They're constantly talking over each other or trailing off.
He's trying to, I don't know, he's trying to make us think, I guess.
As far as the plot goes, it is loosely based on the world-famous Zodiac killer, but it's sort of like the movie someone would make about the Zodiac killer if they knew nothing about the Zodiac killer. Like, okay, he's leaving some clues behind, and there's some symbols involved, but also he shows up in this girl's dreams and keeps calling this detective and saying the same 4 lines over and over again.
In my book, 2 + 2 is 3. Maybe you want to meet in the middle, fat fuck. Make it a 4, fat fuck. Your black eyes, pretty girl. Your black hair, pretty girl.
Half the movie is just him yapping about nothing.
The Sandman, a.k.a. Z-Man, a.k.a. Zodiac. My name is Zodiac. Z-O-D.
Although I do like the way he says San Francisco.
I'm sticking around in San Francisco.
I would say my least favorite character is the world's most useless detective. He makes 0 progress from start to finish and is just confused the entire time.
I'm confused.
They could not have come up with a less interesting character. On the flip side, my favorite character is definitely this piano-playing murder victim who made such a bizarre choice on how he would talk.
Do you enjoy the piano? Me too.
You can see him trying not to laugh here.
Whoops. I made a mistake when I was playing.
Honestly, I really don't want to spend that much more time thinking about this movie. It made me feel gross the entire time. It actually made me miss the production value of Dream Home, a movie that had the boom mic in frame most of the time. So this movie was written and directed by Uli Lommel, whose name I'm probably mispronouncing, but let me tell you about this legend. This man acted in over 90 movies. He wrote and directed over 60. And look at this unprecedented run he went on from 2003 to 2012. The sheer consistency with which he was putting out 1s and 2s, you may never see something like this again. I don't know if we'll ever see anyone match this kind of legacy. This is about as badass as it gets. To be so confident in who you are that you can say, yeah, maybe I don't have a story worth telling here, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from making 100 movies. Maybe next year I'll do a deep dive on his entire filmography, but for now, I need a break. This was rough. Well, I hope you all enjoyed watching me suffer through this as much as I hated every minute of it. But if you can believe it, even after watching all of that, you're only now getting to the scariest part of the video. An advertisement. It's 3 p.m. You haven't eaten in 7 hours and it just hit you. You have no plan for lunch and now you're so hungry you're not thinking straight. So you open up a food delivery app where you spend $47 on 2 tacos that take so long to get to you that by the time they do, they're cold and mushy. You think to yourself, there has to be a better way. There is. Stop stressing about where you're gonna get a last-minute lunch that doesn't make you feel awful and start using today's sponsor, Factor. For me, there's no better feeling when lunchtime rolls around and I remember that I have one of these meals in my fridge. They take less than 2 minutes to microwave and then you're done. You can just eat it. You don't have to cook anything. You don't have to go anywhere. There's nothing to prep before and nothing to clean up after. Unless you put it on a plate for some reason, like I did. I don't know why I did that. Amanda and I have had dozens of Factor meals at this point, and we've yet to try one that doesn't taste great. But on top of that, they also make us feel a lot better than fast food or takeout does. You can pick your meals on the app and see the exact nutritional information every time. You can opt for calorie smart meals. You can opt for meals that have over 30 grams of protein, which is great for jacked guys like me. I'm not even struggling. For me, these meals are perfect for lunch because they keep me full and energized for hours. Time is the single most valuable commodity, and Factor helps me save a bunch of it so I can get back to doing the things I love. editing my stupid YouTube videos. If you want to try out Factor for yourself and get delicious, fresh meals delivered straight to your door, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use my promo code DREW50 for 50% off your first box. Again, that's code DREW50 for 50% off your first Factor box when you click the link in the description to sign up. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video and also for giving me food. Thank you again for watching me watch 4 terrible horror movies. It means a lot to me that you make it this far into the video. Either you really like hearing me talk, or I'm so boring that you fell asleep 20 minutes ago. Either way, still counts as a view. But unfortunately, YouTube did just add a rule that if you make it all the way to the end of a video that's posted on or before Halloween, you have to give the person who posted it all of your Halloween candy. So, guess I gotta get me a P.O. box. Bye-bye, happy Halloween. Hate YouTube.